20 armed soldiers storm through the palace doors on March 28, 193 AD. Emperor Pertinax stands alone in his chamber, abandoned by his guards, as the Praetorian blades rise against him. Within minutes, Rome has no emperor, and within hours, the entire empire goes up for sale. Rome in early 193 AD teeters on the edge of chaos. The previous Emperor Commodus ruled for 12 years as a megalomaniac who renamed Rome after himself and fought as a gladiator in the arena. His assassination on New Year's Eve brings Pertinax to power, a respected general and former consul who promises to restore discipline and empty the treasury through austerity. The Praetorian Guard, Rome's elite 10,000 soldier force stationed at the Castra Praetoria fortress, receives Pertinax coldly. These men enjoyed lavish bonuses under Commodus, and Pertinax's promised payment of 12,000 sesterces per soldier arrives only partially. Resentment festers in the barracks as the new emperor cuts their privileges and demands military discipline. By late March, a faction of 200 to 300 guardsmen decides that Pertinax must die. The prefect Laetus, who helped install Pertinax, now stands aside as his creation faces destruction. The conspirators march from their barracks through Rome's streets at midday on March 28th. Citizens scatter as the armed column advances toward the Palatine Hill. Palace servants alert Pertinax, who refuses to flee. The 66-year-old emperor walks directly toward the approaching soldiers, believing his authority and reputation can calm them. He speaks to the men, reminding them of their oaths and his service to Rome. For a moment, several guardsmen waver. Then, a Tungrian auxiliary named Tausius hurls his spear into the emperor's chest. The others fall upon Pertinax with their swords. They hack off his head and mount it on a lance. One soldier carries the trophy back to the Praetorian camp as proof of the deed completed. The guardsmen now foe a problem. They have killed an emperor, but crowned no successor. Someone proposes a solution that will echo through history. They will sell the throne to whoever pays the highest price. The Praetorians mount the walls of their fortress and announce to passing citizens that the Roman Empire awaits a buyer. Word spreads through the city like fire. Titus Flavius Sulpicianus, the urban prefect and father-in-law of the murdered Pertinax, rushes to the camp first. He begins negotiating with the guards from inside the fortress, where he had been conducting business when Pertinax died. His offer climbs steadily as soldiers shout down their demands. Meanwhile, Another senator receives urgent messages at his home across the city. Didius Julianus, a 60-year-old former consul and provincial governor, possesses one of the largest fortunes in Rome. His wife, Manlia Scantilla, and daughter, Didia Clara, push him to seize this opportunity. Julianus races to the Praetorian camp and finds the gates barred against him. He stands outside the walls, shouting his bids upward, while Sulpicianus counters from within. The auction becomes a bizarre spectacle as soldiers lean over the ramparts, playing the two wealthy men against each other. Sulpicianus offers 20,000 sesterces per soldier. Julianus raises to 25,000. The guards demand more. Julianus holds up his hands, spreading all 10 fingers repeatedly to signal 25,000, a sum totaling 250 million sesterces for the entire guard. The Praetorians throw open the gates and proclaim Didius Julianus Emperor of Rome. The Senate ratifies the purchase that evening under armed supervision. Julianus enters the palace and finds Pertinax's final meal still sitting on the table. He orders dice and dancers brought in to celebrate his triumph. Rome's citizens react with fury when dawn reveals what happened. Crowds gather in the streets, hurling insults at the new emperor. When Julianus appears in public, people throw stones and curse him as a thief who bought what he could never earn. The legions on Rome's frontiers receive news of the auction with equal disgust. 3 generals, Septimius Severus in Pannonia, Pescennius Niger in Syria, and Clodius Albinus in Britain, each declare themselves the true emperor. Severus acts fastest, marching his Danubian legions toward Rome at punishing speed. Julianus frantically attempts to fortify the city, ordering elephants from the Imperial Zoo trained for combat, and hiring gladiators to supplement his defenses. The Praetorians who sold him the throne now refuse to drill or prepare for battle. Severus crosses into Italy unopposed. The Senate, sensing the wind shifting, condemns Julianus to death after just 66 days as emperor. A soldier finds him alone in the palace on June 1st, weeping and asking what evil he ever committed. The blade answers before he finishes speaking. Severus enters Rome and immediately disbands the Praetorian Guard, replacing every man with soldiers from his own legions. The men who auctioned an empire scatter into exile and obscurity. Rome endures, but something essential dies in those spring days of 193 AD. The belief that the purple robe carries Simrid meaning beyond the gold required to purchase it. Julianus paid 250 million sesterces for 66 days of misery and a death alone in an empty palace. The true cost falls on Rome itself, which now knows its throne sits forever on an auction block, waiting for the next bidder with enough soldiers or enough gold.